A lot of people thought AI would get more flashy in 2026. But the strange thing is, it may feel less magical instead. And that is not a bad sign. The real story is that AI is becoming normal. It is slipping into the tools people already use. It is showing up in writing apps, search, notes, email, design, support, coding, and even local software that runs without the internet. So in this video, I want to look at why AI feels less magical, why that matters, and why the boring version may actually be the useful one. When AI first got popular, it felt like a demo of the future. You typed something in, and suddenly there was a wall of text, a picture, a summary, a plan, or a piece of code. It felt like a leap. It was easy to believe that every year after that would feel more shocking. But that is not really how technology works. Usually the biggest shift is not that the tool keeps looking more dramatic. It is that it keeps getting embedded into everyday work until it stops being noticed. That is where AI is heading now. People do not just want a chatbot anymore. They want help inside the workflow. They want the tool to show up exactly when needed, then get out of the way. There is a simple reason the magic fades. At the start, every useful output feels unexpected. You are impressed because the tool feels bigger than the task. But once you use it every day, the novelty wears off. You stop asking, can it do this? And start asking, can it do this reliably, quickly, and without making a mess? That is a different standard. And honestly, it is a better standard. Because a magical tool is fun. A reliable tool gets used. That is why a lot of the best AI products in 2026 may not look dramatic at all. They may just save time in small ways over and over again. The biggest shift is that AI is not staying in one app. It is spreading into everything else. You open a document and there is a writing helper. You search for something and the answer is already summarized. You check email and the reply draft is waiting. You look at notes and the system can connect ideas for you. You open an editing tool and it suggests the next move before you ask. That changes the feel of the technology. When AI is a separate product, it feels like something you go to. When AI is inside your normal tools, it feels like a feature of the environment. And once it becomes an environment feature, people stop talking about it in the same excited way. They just start expecting it. This is also why local AI matters so much. When models run on your machine, or close to your machine, the experience changes. It feels faster. It feels more private. It feels less like a service you rent and more like a tool you own. That matters for two reasons. First, it lowers friction. Second, it changes trust. If the model is already there, ready to go, people use it more naturally. They do not have to wonder whether the connection is down, whether the data is being sent somewhere else, or whether the workflow will break at the worst time. So even if local AI is not the flashiest part of the market, it may be one of the most important. There is another reason AI feels less magical. Convenience comes with a trade-off. The easier a tool is to use, the more likely it is to shape your process. That can be good. But it can also mean lock-in, dependency, and less control over your own work. People often notice the benefit first. Faster drafts. Cleaner summaries. Less manual work. Then later they notice the cost. They have to review more. They rely on the system more. They may not know how the answer was produced. And if the tool changes, their workflow changes with it. That is one of the big stories of 2026. AI is not just a productivity boost. It is becoming a layer in how work gets done. A lot of people want AI to stay exciting. But the most useful technology often becomes boring. Think about search, maps, spell check, cloud storage, or autocomplete. At one point, each of those felt impressive. Now they just feel normal. And normal is powerful. Because normal means trusted. It means repeatable. It means people rely on it without thinking about it too much. That is where AI is going. Not into endless spectacle. Into routine. Into infrastructure. Into the background of how people write, research, plan, design, and decide. So if AI feels less magical in 2026, that may actually be proof that it is becoming real. Here is the theory. The winning AI tools in 2026 may not be the loudest ones. They may be the ones that fit into the way people already work. Not the most dramatic. Not the most viral. The most dependable. The tools that keep showing up in the right place. The tools that remember context. The tools that save time without demanding attention. The tools that make the work feel smoother, not more complicated. That is why AI feels less magical. Not because it is getting worse. Because it is getting practical. And practical is what sticks. So that is the weird part of AI in 2026. The more useful it gets, the less it feels like a miracle. And that might be exactly the point. If you want, the next video can be about why local AI is quietly becoming a real choice.